What's up, guys? This is Chris from DraftDashboard.com.
Here are my DFS picks for MLB Sunday, May 22nd.
These picks apply for DraftKings and FanDuel. Before I get started, please drop a like on this video and hit that red subscribe button
And hit that bell icon
so you don't miss our new videos.
In this video, I'm going to go over my top DFS picks for today's MLB slate. And if you stick around to the very end of this video, we'll use the Draft Dashboard tools to make a DFS lineup using the picks we just made. Okay guys, we have a 12-game slate tonight. So let's take a look at the pitcher position. Stud on the slate that I like is Freddie Peralta. He's pitching against the Washington Nationals, and he's only giving up a .596 OPS versus righties, a .367 OPS versus switch hitters, and a .601 OPS versus lefties. So he's pitching pretty well to all hands. He's facing 3 lefties, 3 righties, and 3 switch hitters. And the Nationals have only hit 5 of his last 28 pitches. That's a 179 batting average. Now, it's not a super big sample size, but it's a great start. And Freddie Peralta is $10,500 FanDuel salary. Same price on DraftKings, averaging 34 fantasy points per game on the season. He scored 61, 44, and 33 fantasy points in the last 3 games. He has an ERA of 3.53. Record is 3-1, pitching an average of 92 pitches per game. So I like Freddie Peralta here versus the Washington Nationals. Now I also like Sandy Alcantara here versus the Atlanta Braves. He's giving up a .587 OPS versus righties. So he does pitch his best ball versus righty batters, and he's facing 7 righties here tonight. And on top of that, the Braves have only hit 25 of his last 104 pitches. That's a 240 batting average and a huge sample size. He's $10,100 FanDuel salary, but he's $1,300 less on DraftKings. So I think he makes a pretty good DraftKings play. He's averaging 34 fantasy points per game on the season, has an ERA of 2.49. Record is 3-2, pitching an average of 96 pitches per game. And Vegas thinks this is going to be a low-scoring game. 7 runs scored in this game. That's their over-under. So I like Sandy Alcantara here versus the Atlanta Braves. Now, if you want to save some salary here, I like Shane Bieber. And he's pitching against a low-salary batting team, the Detroit Tigers. Now, Shane Bieber does pitch his worst ball versus righty batters. He's giving up a .752 OPS versus righties. He's facing 5 righties, but he also pitches his best ball versus switch hitters, only giving up a .370 OPS versus switch hitters. He's facing 3 switch hitters. And I like this pick because the Tigers have only hit 18 of his last 82 pitches. That's a 220 batting average and a big sample size. And Shane Bieber is $8,600 FanDuel salary, $400 more on DraftKings. He's averaging 28 fantasy points per game on the season. His average was pulled down quite a bit because he put up -11 fantasy points a couple games ago. He scored 40, -11, and 43 fantasy points in the last 3 games. Has an ERA of 3.72. Record is 1-2. Pitching an average of 89 pitches per game. So I like Shane Bieber here versus the Detroit Tigers.
Before I continue with the picks, I'm excited today because we added a new contest for everyone watching.
If you want to enter the drawing for $25 PayPal,
all you need to do is like this video, hit that subscribe button, and make a quick comment below to be entered into the drawing. We'll reply to a random comment and let you know that you won.
And we'll send you $25 PayPal.
So it's that easy, and we pick a new winner every Saturday and announce them in our video. So get your comment in now so I can add another entry for you.
Okay, let's take a look at the catcher first base position. I like Ji-Man Choi. As a value play here, he's batting against Spencer Watkins. Ji-Man Choi is batting a .773 OPS versus righties. Spencer Watkins is giving up a .952 OPS versus switch hitters. And Ji-Man Choi is already 2 for 4 versus Watkins. He's only 2,600 FanDuel salary. He's 1,100 more on DraftKings, averaging 8 fantasy points per game on the season. He has a batting average of .250. So I think this is a good value play. Spencer Watkins is a low salary pitcher, and he doesn't pitch well versus switch hitters. So Ji-Man Choi in a good spot. So I like Ji-Man Choi here versus Spencer Watkins. Okay, let's take a look at the second base position. I like Andre Gimenez with a 40% batting advantage over Alex Fado. Andre Gimenez is batting 5% better versus righty pitchers, batting a .714 OPS versus righties. Alex Fado is pitching his worst ball versus lefty batters, 35% worse than his other pitches. So Andre Gimenez is 2,900 FanDuel salary, 1,400 more on DraftKings, averaging 9 fantasy points per game on the season, and he has a batting average of .310. So I like Andreas Gimenez here versus Alex Fado. Okay, let's take a look at the third base position. I like Ryan McMahon with a 32% batting advantage over Tajon Walker. Ryan McMahon is batting 26% better versus righty pitchers, batting a .840 OPS versus righties. Tajon Walker is pitching his worst ball versus lefty batters, giving up a .767 OPS versus lefties. And Ryan McMahon is 3,900 FanDuel salary, 1,000 more on DraftKings, averaging 10 fantasy points per game on the season. He has a batting average of .264. So I like Ryan McMahon here versus Tajon Walker.
Real quick, guys, I got great news. For a limited time, we're offering a full 30-day trial to Draft Dashboard. You can try all of our DFS tools for all sports. You can try the Position Optimizer, where you can see the top players ranked for each position. And we added a new Player Trends tool, where you can see the top salary differences between FanDuel and DraftKings. It's a really good tool to help you pick out value for the site that you're playing on. Oh, and if you're tired of doing research every day, we just added a cheat sheet that shows hand-picked plays for the slate. No confusing stat lines, no headaches, just a simple cheat sheet that shows the absolute best players for your lineups.
Okay, let's take a look at the shortstop position. I like Jeremy Pena with a 23% batting advantage over Taylor Hearn. Jeremy Pena batting a little bit better versus lefty pitchers, batting a .869 OPS versus lefties. Taylor Hearn pitching his worst ball versus righty batters, giving up a .865 OPS versus righties. Jeremy Pena is 1 for 2 versus Hearn. He's 3,700 FanDuel salary, 1,000 more on DraftKings, averaging 11 fantasy points per game on the season, and he's got a batting average of .279. So I like Jeremy Pena here versus Taylor Hearn. Okay, moving on to the outfield position. One of my home run hitters is Byron Buxton. He's 4,100 FanDuel salary, 2,000 more on DraftKings. He's 4 for 8 here versus a low salary pitcher, Brady Singer. So he's got good batter versus pitcher stats. And he's averaging 14 fantasy points per game on the season, has a batting average of .228, but he's swinging the bat hard. Scored 10, 6, and 12 fantasy points in the last 3 games. Already has 1 home run out of 4 versus Singer. So I think Byron Buxton is a decent home run hitter here tonight. But just be careful because he very well may strike out swinging for the fences. But another player that I like here versus Brady Singer, more of a value play, is Max Kepler. With a 30% batting advantage over that low salary pitcher Brady Singer, Max Kepler batting 18% better versus righty pitchers, batting a .789 OPS versus righties. Brady Singer giving up a .707 OPS versus lefties. And I like this pick because Max Kepler is 4 for 12 with a 1.429 OPS versus Singer. He's got 2 doubles and 2 home runs. He's $2,900 FanDuel salary, only $500 more on DraftKings, so I think he's a little underpriced on DraftKings. And he's averaging 9 fantasy points per game on the season with a batting average of .252. So I like Max Kepler here versus Brady Singer. And now we picked this guy yesterday and he came through with 44 fantasy points. We like Randy Arozarena with a 26% batting advantage over the low salary pitcher Spencer Watkins. Randy Arozarena is batting a .717 OPS versus righties. Spencer Watkins not pitching well versus righty batters, giving up a 1.074 OPS versus righties. That's 36% worse than his pitch to lefties. And Randy Arozarena is 4 for 7, batting a .571 batting average and a 1.339 OPS versus Watkins. He's only $2,700 FanDuel salary, $1,900 more on DraftKings, so I love that FanDuel price. Averaging 9 fantasy points per game on the season, has a batting average of .253. So I like Randy Arozarena here versus Spencer Watkins.
If you want to try all these daily fantasy tools for yourself, click the link in the description below this video or just go to draftdashboard.com. You can use our DFS lineup optimizer to build quality lineups using our picks and your own custom player pool. Click the link in the description below this video and try all these daily fantasy tools right now. Thanks so much for watching. Oh, and don't forget to subscribe to this channel and hit that bell icon so you can get instant updates whenever we post a new video. Thank you so much for watching, everyone. If you enjoyed this video, please smickety smash that like button and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Oh, and please comment below with your favorite player for this MLB slate. I love to hear what you guys have to think. Thanks again and good luck.